Good afternoon. My name is Damita Chatman. I'm your host of Take a Stand for the next hour. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, and all the social media platforms. The disclaimer is whatever was said today is of the opinion of the host and not the producer of the show, where we speak life into the community and talk about all the issues and concerns. The next hour is me, Damita Chatman. Hello, everyone. Well, we're here today, and we want to talk about a couple issues and some concerns and so forth. Let's talk about the election. This election is very important. So we're under 45 days now. And what I'm hearing from people is we got to get out to vote. It's all right. It's okay to register them to vote, but we also have to get them out to vote. Some of the concerns that has been brought to my attention is we need to make sure that everybody's ID is up to date. We need to make sure that your address is correct and it match with your polling. Okay. I was sorry, I was looking at a text that came in. And voter registration ends October the 7th. Um, it's good to come before the people and talk about concerns. So the concern that I had, the topic that I had today, we gonna move a little to the right now until the guests come. What we need to do, I believe, in our communities is we need to educate the people. Educate the people. I read somewhere where they said that the crime was up, and I went back all the way to 2019, and crime is down as far as from 2019 to 2024. Crime is down all over the United States. Us, then I can also say crime is down in the city of South Fulton. We have to give kudos to our police chief and the police department of the city of South Fulton. Crime is down. So when people say that the crime is up, they need to go back and dive into the statistics and so forth. Matter of fact, this morning on Morning Joe, he talked about the crime is down. Uh, we hear people saying that the vice president don't have a platform. Well, she do have a platform, and she's been discussing that platform. So what I want the voters to don't get into the narrative of what they're trying to spin. Don't get into that. I also would tell you that, and I'm waiting for a text to come in. That's why I keep looking out. I'm waiting. I don't want you to do is to get caught up into the sound bites that people put out. They put a little piece, but they don't put the facts out. So I believe that we need to get the facts instead of sound bites. I said it once and I'll say it again. The news media is only going to give you what they think their ratings is going to make their ratings. And you got to remember it's six news outlets and 90% are their own. So you have to be careful. It's just like, for instance, if a news story, if they think that they need a news story, they're going to go to the news that's going to boost their ratings. So right now, this election is boosting their ratings. So they're not going to sometimes give you the truth. They're going to give you what they think going to boost their ratings. So be very mindful what you take in on that. Uh, you just have to be mindful. I hear people talk about, well, Vice President Harris, she haven't done nothing, and etc. Again, she is not the sitting president. She's the vice president. You still got somebody that's sitting in the chair. So it's just like when you're in the church. Although you want something done, you can never go over that pastor. You always have to go through that pastor. You can't go through the deacon board, the trustee board. You always have to go through the pastor. So that's the same thing, what we see here in this election. So be mindful of that. What I would say is, please check your voter registration status at www.mvp.sos.gov. And I try to check mine every other day because they can do some tricky things. So try to get into that. We have a very important election this year, and I'm going to say this so you don't have to put it on the producer. I'm going to say we need to vote down the ballot. It really don't matter if you know the person or not. You need to vote down that ballot. Anything, and I am a Democrat, so anything that's a Democrat got a D behind it, you need to vote down that, because see, it's all right if getting vice president over the finish line, but if you don't have control of the House and the Senate, we're still at first base. If you can go back to the Obama era, where everything that he tried to get done, he never can get anything done. So do your research of your candidates and know before you go. Know before you go. We have candidates that's being written in. Uh, do your homework. Do your homework on those races as well. But make sure that you know what you know. We have an important sheriff race that's coming up. We have we got 4 referendums on the ballot. So just don't go in when you do your voting. Please don't go in and hit the top of the ticket. And once you hit the top of the ticket, you turn your ballot in and you walk out. We need you to go all the way down to the end of that ballot, because you have your referendums on the end of that ballot. You have your representative seats going to the end of that ballot. So just make sure when you go in that you just cast a full entire ballot, not just for the president. I remember when President Obama ran, people were saying that they just went in and voted for him and left. Where you had school board on the ballot, you had a local election on the ballot. And so therefore, the local elections is just as important as the federal, because on the local level, you can always go into your council, the sheriff, or whoever it may be, to sit down and talk about the concerns that's going on. So therefore, local elections is very important also. I'm going to touch some bases that I've been hearing. I got notes on, and so I'm going to touch some bases. Some folks might get in their feelings, but I don't want you to get in the feelings. I just want you to know that the voters have a concern. First of all, let's talk about Fulton County Jail. Over the last year or so, we have had numerous of deaths there. So now it has drawn a red flag with the voters. What is going on in the Fulton County Jail? I haven't sat down with Sheriff Labat. I have a relationship with him, and I'm going to probably me and some more residents is going to go down and sit down and see if we can get a meeting with him to see what's going on. It's okay to get it from the street committee and all the rest of the folks and me to dig, but it's like getting it from firsthand. Now, I will say some of the pictures that I've seen out there is very disturbing. So something has to be done, and it need to be done quickly. I also got a question. Well, uh, they keep on saying that they were inherited this problem. Yes, you was inherit this problem, but I believe that once you step up to the plate and you're the overseer of that, that problem become your problem. So you have to have put things in place to solve or bring solutions to the table. I also know that it has been said on the news that bills wasn't being paid. Vendors is walking out. People is walking out. Uh, Something is wrong. And I believe that anybody that work, I don't care if you work 2 hours, that 2 hours you are due to be paid for that 2 hours. I don't know if it's a payroll problem, a bookkeeping problem, a HR problem, a share problem. All I know that the problem need to be fixed. That's all I know. The problem need to be fixed because if the commissioners are saying they're giving you the money, but the bills is not being paid, then that's a problem. And then you have to go through the taxpayer. This taxpayers. So I got a question. Is the Fulton County government and the Fulton County Jail Administration working together? That's what I want to know. Are you working together? Because the sheriff might say one thing, the commissioners might say one thing. So are you working together on solving the problem? That's my take. Are you working to solve the problem? And so that's a big concern because the money that is pouring into the Fulton County Jail is taxpayer money. It didn't say nothing about friendship. It didn't say nothing about cronyism. It is taxpayers' money. And I believe that when taxpayers pay their money, taxpayers deserve what they pay taxes for. And we pay good taxes. So that's my concern there. And so in the coming weeks, I know it's coming up for election and so forth. Uh, I believe I want to sit down with the chair and the Fulton County Sheriff, and let's see how we can work some of these things out. I think it's time out for finger pointing. Sometimes we can point the finger over here, we can point the finger over there, and we keep pointing the finger, and eventually the finger is going to point back at us. So, as a taxpayer, other than the fingerprint pointing, I think it's time for us to sit down and come to the table and see what's really going on. That's what we need to do. Because I know people that voted, they didn't cast a vote for to have the issues, and we're talking about family members that has died in the jail. I don't have any family members down there in Fulton County Jail, but I can only imagine you send your family members down there, and then you get a call saying that your family member is deceased. So that's a big concern. We can say what we want to say, but when we saw the young man that was ate up by the bed bugs, that didn't just happen one night. That had to happen over some weeks, I guess. I don't know, months or something, but it's no way in the world that happened in one night. And I believe if you're having some checks and some balance, some like that, stuff like that can be caught. Uh, they talked about getting a new jail. The commissioner said that we're not buying a new jail. So you know what? Let's stop beating that dead horse. You're not going to get, Dan told you. So now what we do is just come to the table and say, okay, they're not going to buy a jail, but let's come up with something that we can do to make it more comfortable, make it more compatible and livable. You have the Atlanta jail. I don't think nobody's down there. Put the folks in there. That's what you do. You kind of figure things out, and let's move on, because we can talk about this for the next 4 years. We up for another election, and we can talk about this for the next 4 years, and the next 4 years, and nothing gets done. So we have to figure out what's the problem. And I believe that the taxpayers deserve that. It don't matter who I support, who I didn't support, who I'm going to support. The taxpayers deserve that. They deserve better. And I will say, I don't care who's down there in Fulton County Jail. I don't care what kind of crime they did. They're still human beings. They're still human beings. So let's think about that. I know you watching. I know we got folks watching. They're going to watch everything I do, and they're going to talk about it. Let's come down to some real solutions. It's all right to have the outside looking real good. It's all right. And I'm a firm believer. The outside can look just as beautiful, but the inside is tore up from the floor all the way to the ceiling. So let's work on the inside. I don't care about that outside appearance. You can have all the nice flowers in your yard and have the nice paint on your house. But when you go in the house, you don't want to be in the house because it's so bad. Let's fix the house up. Let's fix the house up. And I have faith in our folks for doing that. I have faith. So somebody said it's just like people are looking good, smelling good, but mentally they're not good, and they're suffering. So let's work on that. Let's get that taken care of. The next, okay, okay, just 1 second. I'm fin to give my guests the link. Okay, let me see just 1 second. And so we need to do that, and we also need to hold our elected officials accountable. We need to hold them accountable. Uh, I don't care about who friends you are, who you're related to, but we need to hold them accountable. Because when we start holding people accountable, we'll get things done. You'll be surprised how things change when you hold people accountable. And when you're holding people accountable, folks ain't gonna like you. They didn't like Jesus. So that's okay if folks don't like you. I mean, folks, my closest folks, friends that I thought I had a relationship, when I started speaking against them and didn't go along, then they became my enemy. And that's okay. That's okay. Because you at least know where I stand. And it's all about the people with me. It's all about the people. And so we have to be mindful when we are elected officials. Not only elected officials, we need to be mindful when we are community uh, speaking on behalf of the community. That's why I would never ever put anything out that I could not bag up. When I put stuff out, I'm going to bag that up. When I say something, I got a paper trail on that. So, and the good thing about me, whatever I do, I sign my name on it and approve it and give you my telephone number. And everything that I put out, I have not gotten one phone call, not one. I have not gotten one email. So because I'm very mindful, I try. Let me say this: I try not to put a lie out on people because I know a lie go all the way around the world, and I know a lie can hurt folks. So basically, when I put stuff out, I got the backup, and you might not like it, but I have it. And then if a small misunderstanding between friends break up friendship, that was put in the chat, then maybe it was never a friendship. And I totally agree. I totally agree. So that's that. Hold on, she should be coming on. The guest should be coming on. So let us be mindful. I'm going to deep dig into a little bit more this afternoon at 6:15, and I'm trying to give the guests, time to get on. So we need to do that. We also during this election, it is very important that you get folks to represent you. To represent you. I've watched the news. I've heard, and everybody that look like us ain't our kinfolk. Uh, let's talk about this election process that they're trying to turn back. And I'm going to say it. It's a sad day in America when you have a black woman that know how hard that we fought. Folks died for folks to vote, and she's sitting with two folks to vote to try to overturn the process. It's a sad day. Georgia spent a lot of money to get the voting machines. Uh, they did everything to make sure that our process will go without glitches. Now, when you have folks that's voting, trying to vote for us to count ballots, that's a sad day. My guest is coming in, and when she get in, she's coming, and we're gonna let her introduce herself. Let me see your picture once you get in here. Unmute your mic. Okay, unmute your mic. How you doing? Let me see you. Let me see your picture, LA Pink. Oh, there you go. How you doing, LA Pink?
Oh, I am doing excellent. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for
That's
my
okay.
lateness.
I knew you was gonna come on. I was just kind of buy some time. This is LA Pink, and this is she's a community activist, and I want her to give her a spiel what she do in the community, and then we're gonna go from there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on. I am L.A. Pink. I am the First Lady and President of Street Groomers. I am the CEO and founder of the Community Boutique, where we are the voice for the voiceless for the streets. So it's a lot of different things that we get into and we do. One that we are very, very proud of. Through the pandemic, we housed over 179 families with Commissioner Larry Johnson from Hotel to Home. We took them and gave them jobs, um, and then we began to house them so that they can, live sufficiently on their own. Um, and then a lot of things, other things that we do, we show, pay attention and deal with our elders. So the fight that I'm going through right now, that's where that comes from our elders, from um, dealing with inmates, people that are in prison or even in jails on their way to prison, or just different levels. We just deal with different levels of different things.
Okay, okay, thanks. And we hit some bases, but the question I have with you, and believe it or not, and I talked to her when I met her at a forum. We might disagree on some things, but some things we do have in common. And
Absolutely.
so we can disagree, but we also can agree on things. Let me ask
Absolutely.
you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, what are your solutions? Tell me what kind of solutions we can bring to the table about the Fulton County Jail. What can we do? Because something got to be done. And I
Absolutely.
talked about it. So, what kind of solutions have you recommend? First of all, have you ever had to do ask for a sit down with the sheriff down there?
So I haven't had to ask for a sit down, um, because from what was told to me, from the complaint that was put in by his staff, someone in his office, someone that he knows, someone that he's connected to. I don't know, because right now we're dealing with some forgery. They said his signature was forged on some of my documentations, so they say. But he said that he had already spoke to me and that he had asked me some questions that me and him have not spoke. Now, previous, let's go back a little bit, because when he ran the first time, I was introduced to him by Chief Magistrate Judge Cassandra Kurt and my brother Rashad Ritchie. And so when they introduced me to him at a coat drive that they had collected over 10,000 coats for us to take out into the community. This is when our brother Harun was alive. And so I began to get behind him to push him to be sheriff. Not that I had a problem with our old sheriff. So let's just make sure that we have that clear. I never had a problem with our old sheriff. I
Okay.
just felt like he was older and he needed to rest. And I thought that Sheriff LaButt would have been the next best thing. And I was wrong. And so by me being wrong, I'm a woman of my word. If I'm wrong with something or wrong with doing something, I will correct it. And so that's what I feel like I'm doing now, is correcting the uncorrected of what I had done. And
Okay.
so that's the reason why I'm on the rampage that I am on right now, and pushing, anyone. First, it was JT. Well, first it was started out with Beasley, and I found out some things that she was doing with Sheriff LaButte, from what the streets was saying to me, and so I dismantled her, and then I picked up JT, which I just felt like he was in the community with the homeless. So, I love the homeless. That's one initiative that I really, really, really do, and that I'm catered to, and so I got behind him. But God said his plan is not wasn't my plan, and now I'm pushing Rambo, and you need to have a formal for them. That would be special.
Oh,
But
I have to talk about that later. Because
okay, okay, okay.
I'll talk about that later because I believe in, and I heard what you said. I believe in going the way that God want me to go.
Absolutely.
And so I'm following the footsteps right now with he's directing me on that. Let me ask
Absolutely.
you a question. You talk
Yes.
about the homeless, and
Hmm.
that's a passion that I had. And it was a time that, just say, the city of South Fulton, South Fulton didn't have no homeless.
Right.
In 2005, I didn't see folks laying out there on uh Fulton Industrial or nowhere, but now you have a homeless problem. Tell me,
Hmm.
what can we do to uh get a hold of this?
Hmm.
What would you do?
So what I would do is, and this is another reason why we stay at the city council meetings and we stay at the board of commissioners meetings, and in the face of anybody, the mayor or anybody that can stop putting on a band-aid on the situation. Because what we find out that's happening now, and this is how the organizations continuously to be paid, is because they feel like if they take away the homeless, then that's going to take away their funding. And that's not so. It's nothing wrong with helping someone so that they can be living comfortably later on and not facing the same frustration in a few months or a month at the you help them 1 month and then they're right back inside of another organization's face. They're not doing that. What they're doing is they're band-aiding situations.
I agree.
So just like with the Mayor Dighead, what he's doing.
What we do, just if we ain't gonna call him, just say mayor of the city of Atlanta, because this gonna go out to the public,
Okay,
and
got
here
you, got
we
you, got
both
you.
women of
And
God.
I
Okay,
just don't never call, and
just say the
I know
mayor of
people.
Atlanta if you know what you want to say.
Gotcha. Yeah, yes, the mayor of Atlanta. So just like with him, the funding that is being given, that funding is being used for everything. And I know that he's saying that he's helping and he's doing, he had the little homes that he had built for 40 of them and all of this. But this problem that we having is way bigger than uh,
I agree.
a 40 home entity. Even if you even got a building that would hold 40 people, it's bigger than that. We need something. If we have $700,000 to give to Gateway, we need to use that money and we need to put it towards a project that is going to help more than just 40 people. You know what I'm
I agree.
saying?
I agree with you.
Or it just needs to be big
Let me
because
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question on homeless. You remember they shut down the homeless shelters down there in Atlanta?
absolutely.
Okay,
I
and I
partnered with them. Street and
and
Pine.
okay, right. And I remember they had some event in Atlanta, and I got pictures, and it was sad because they had put these folks on white vans,
Mhm.
and they dropped them off in Union City in the
Mhm.
Walmart Plaza.
Mhm.
That didn't come from no hearsay. That's what I took pictures of. So
Right.
let me ask you: we have a lot of warehouses that's being
Mhm.
built everywhere.
Yep.
We don't have warehouses in the city of South Fulton, but we do have warehouses that we go past when we leave in the city of South Fulton, like in the
Absolutely.
Union City of Atlanta. Have you ever thought about why can't they get one of those warehouses and open up something for the homeless people? Have you thought about that?
Absolutely. I even thought about it that we got a lot of churches closing. We got
Absolutely.
We got a lot of stuff right now closing. I mean, that beauty supply they just closed, like we got a lot of stuff that is closing that we can come in and design where we place the homeless there, we place organizations there that can help them get their birth certificate, get all these different things. We have all this stuff happening that we can be able to place inside of there. It's just, do they want to do it? And right now they don't. Right now that's not something that they're choosing to do for whatever reason. I don't know. I just do my part. I do whatever it is that I can.
Mm-hmm.
My
That's
nephew.
okay, because and let me tell you what also I heard over the last 2 weeks, and it was very alarming that right now we have homeless people
Hmm.
that is living in the parks of the city of South Fulton.
Absolutely.
That's very alarming.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
they live in the city of South Fulton. They living in Atlanta's parks. They live in. I mean, I can take you to some places and spaces that your mouth would completely drop. Okay, like that you be like, how is this even so? But then when they do their checks, it's so funny how it just seems like everything is being taken care of. That's why when they sit up here and say the crime rate and all these different rates are down and this and that ain't what I see. I'm in the street. I got 10 toes to the street every day. And that is not what I see. We just had a homeless man just jump from the bridge downtown in downtown Atlanta that nobody is hearing about. They have
right.
this
Nobody
nowhere.
saw that. You the first. I didn't. And I watch news all day.
And
I've
I
never
was
heard that.
and they can't say that it didn't happen because I pulled right in and they had the highway blocked off. I called Pastor White and I mean Reverend White, and Reverend White, I said, "What is we got something going on down here with our homeless people." And when we did an investigation, one of our homeless had jumped off of the
Oh wow.
bridge,
Now let me
committed
ask you, because
suicide.
you you you
Or we
you
hoping it
said
was.
something. You said something, and it's going to be getting cold soon.
Mhm.
Do you think that the counties and cities have something in place for what's going to come? We don't know if it's going to get. You remember when it got real,
Yes.
real cold? Okay.
Yep.
Do you think that we should start planning that right now? Don't wait
Absolutely.
up. Don't wait up until the last minute. You said
Absolutely.
something about the churches, and I
Mhm.
said something. I think yesterday while I was talking to someone, and I said
Mhm. Mhm.
the churches are closed through the week,
Yeah.
and I believe that churches that have big fellowship halls,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I don't care if they even go into the sanctuary,
Yep.
not one person should be laying on the street.
Nope. Why do you
Not
think
one.
that closed when the pandemic happened? Why do you think he allowed for the churches to be closed down? He wanted to see if the churches was going to continue to stay afloat, but they submitted. They submitted to what the governor said. I didn't submit. I got me a little pass that I could still go downtown. I went to I had a boot I put the boutique at Frederick Douglass High School for the youth that was homeless, the homeless youth that were in the school. And so the school was closed down, but the boutique was still moving because we were still giving away clothes. We had it outside, with the food. When they came and got the food, if those that needed clothes, I gave them clothes. So we made it a way. Nothing stopped. Nothing came to a halt. We still that's the reason why we took those families even from the hotel and began to, because they had, what happened was they um came in with the National Guards and put them out, which nobody was supposed to be put out their places.
Mm.
There was a mandation that nobody was supposed to be put out of their homes. Well, they put them out of the hotel, which that's their home. And we fought it and they won. Legal aid came and got involved, and New Life Church in DeKalb County got involved, helped us place them in a hotel. They didn't have to pay anything for 5 months, and then we began to house them. I partnered with Creekside Apartments and began to house them. They gave them a second chance in those apartments, and that's another thing that we need to do. A lot of these organizations are not out on foot. I'm not talking bad about them, just speaking truth.
Oh, you
They're
it's
not
just
out.
tell the truth, sir.
Absolutely. They're not out on foot. So they don't know what exactly is going on until it comes to their door. Then when it comes to their door, and then let me not leave out Action Ministry, because what had happened was one of our ladies that was homeless got in contact with Action Ministry. Action Ministry, Miss Lisa, she said, absolutely. She said, well, can I get you connected to who's helping all of us? She connected me to them, and we began to funnel them in. She began to help me. Like I said, I didn't have no money. I didn't have. All I had was God. That's it. I had the most powerful thing, and He sent me to Miss Lisa, Action Ministry, and Miss Lisa began to help me funnel them into Creekside Apartments, because we partnered with them, and they said yes, we'll give them a second chance. And through that, was able to house 179 families. So if we can all do that somewhere around Atlanta, because it just can't come from just one person. It can't just come from
Absolutely.
you. It has to come from everybody getting involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we cannot either allow the jail to house them, because they're getting paid. Every time someone homeless goes to jail and they be able to sit there, they're getting paid. And some of them are not walking out of there. They're being carried out in a body bag. And so we need to really get our feet to the ground and get out here to really see what's happening, not just be an organization that's sitting there waiting for them to come so they can write a check for the funding that they got, and they got to use up before the end of the year, but they trying to stretch it out so that it can look like they really operating. When Commissioner Larry Johnson gave me $25,000, I spent it in one day with him. I wrote checks. He had an event and he had blessed me with $25,000.
Right.
I took that money and I gave him the opportunity to see where his money was going. And I wrote checks right then and there. I paid
Right.
up rent for 6 months, because you know why? I wanted to give them a real chance. I didn't want to put a band-aid on it. And then I worked with them. I said, I got them a job with Work Source of Atlanta. And I said, what we're going to do is you're going to work and you're going to pay like as if you were still paying your rent. You're going to still pay your bills. You're going to still do the same. So when that 6 months is over, you're in the you're good. You're not in the negative. You're in the rear. You're good. You know what I'm saying? You're still moving. And so that's what we begin to do. And that was just reach and teach.
You know what? I like that, and I'm gonna tell you. Uh, Sometimes people can. I said it earlier. Can spin a narrative.
Hmm.
And when I met you, you came to the forum.
Hmm.
I think it was the sheriff forum that you came
It
to.
was. It
I
was.
I felt something. I felt
Mm,
something.
yes,
And
ma'am.
when I felt something, it I knew it wasn't a bad feel,
Right.
because sometimes even me, I say me, you
Hmm.
can hear what people saying and you
Yeah.
can pass that on. And like I said earlier, a lie can go everywhere, but the
Absolutely.
truth and what you're saying now, I knew that you were doing stuff, but I
Yes.
never would have thought it was on that. Let me say something. You talked about the commissioner in DeKalb County,
Yes, ma'am.
and why haven't and they maybe have,
Hmm.
the other commissioners or the other mayors come to you? Because I like that.
Hmm.
I like that.
Hmm.
And then you can show them where that 25 or $15 went. Have
Yeah.
anybody else approached you with
No. Mm-mm. Nope.
that?
Not,
Okay.
not now one of them.
Not
Nobody.
now, not now. You say
Not
not now.
now. Not now one of them. You
Let,
going
let,
not now one of them.
let me ask you something, because I believe that, because I know
Hmm.
sometimes you get a bad rap because you speak out and you're very passionate about, so
Hmm.
you become the problem.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I, I I'm gonna have you sat down with Commissioner Rob Pitts?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay,
I
you
have
know what?
not.
I got a relationship with him
Hmm.
and Sheriff Labat. I'm gonna set up a meeting, and I'm gonna bring two more people, and they're gonna be community people. They ain't gonna be elected officials, and we're
Hmm.
gonna sit down and have a conversation, because I believe some of this can be solved And if you got people like you in the community that want to help,
Hmm.
why not get the help? Why not? Because and you can agree with me. Some elected officials that they just on a celebrity drive, but this ain't
Yeah.
celebrity. This not
And
about.
that's the reason why I'm coming down there as hard as I am, because a lot of them, have been chosen. They have been because they fathers was this and they daddies was that, and they grandpa fathers was this, and so they're taking up on the legacy. But right now it's being dismantled because there's so much corruption. Even with Sheriff,
Thank you.
even with him, the sit down would have been good when it very first started. It's way too far gone now, because it's way too much. I know that right now there's a higher being that's involved, and so he has to come out, one way or another. They could sit him down by them taking him out, or he could come out in shackles. But either way is happening. I mean, I think even if they take him down, if they set him down, he's still going to jail because there's so much.
So
There
much.
is It's so much. I mean, like I said, I give what I give on social media. I give what I give when I go to Board of Commissioners. But if you really sit down and you really see all these receipts that I have, you really would be like, okay, yeah, it's time for a new sheriff. It
Yeah.
really is. I mean, just what y'all see. I mean, y'all
Well, I,
saw.
I get I get a lot of stuff that people send me.
No,
I
no,
just
no. No, no, no. Let's talk about. See, I don't get what they send. I
you ask
get
for open records.
I have, absolutely. Not only, like I said, see, I got insight because I
Okay.
got deputies that's working inside, and he
Okay.
knows this. That's why he goes off in there. Y'all go tell the pink lady this. Y'all go, and mad. His wife. She's clearly told him a lot of different things to don't do, and he still don't listen. And we got text messages on these things now.
Mm,
Whether if he, like he said, and like he told, and this is the reason what I know, that they will deny. This is the reason why a lot of city officials, when they, oh, no, 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 no. If I say something, that means I have receipts on what I say, and that means that I'm not just talking because
I
I'm
just
in
said
the
that.
street. Yeah, I'm not sitting on social media just posting. I'm in the street. Like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
in the street. I'm at people's doorsteps, like in their kitchens and bathrooms and living rooms of places where they can show and tell you where you've been. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
if people, you know, want to sit up here and try to, like that, even with his attorney when we were on the call, and they sit there and broke the law right in front of the judge with my case. This is open record. I mean, my case was dismissed that I had because I had a warrant hearing that I was putting a charge against him. But at the end of the day, it was like they sit there and they allowed the law to be broken right in the judge's face, and the judge not in the sheriff's face, and nothing. But then y'all want us to sit up here and say, yeah, you're not supposed to break the law. Well, how do you say that the law is not supposed to be broken when here it is, you're the sheriff, and you're breaking the law right in my face. Like,
Mm.
so, like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot that we're dealing with. It's a lot that's going on. But through the grace of God, I know He is able to do
Oh
exceedingly
yeah.
abundantly above all we could ask to think. So all I can do is just continue to be obedient. And God said, just get it out. And
Right.
if they choose to listen, that's on them. I mean, Noah wouldn't have been on the ark if he would have listened to the people. So
Right.
I'm just being obedient, and I'm just doing what he called me to do and what he asked me to do. And he said, expose. He told me last year before my wedding, he said, rest, because I didn't do anything a lot last year. I just got a lot of information. And he said, because next year will be the year of exposure. And
Mm.
2024 has not been nothing but that. And I'm not just talking about Georgia, I'm talking about all over the world. I
Well,
mean,
when I said uh pink, when we became a city, and we can talk about that another day. I've always said that God is not to be mocked,
nope.
and we fought for cityhood, and uh from 2005, but I say from about 2009,
Mhm.
when we were out there fighting all those years. My prayer every night that we had a meeting was pull the sheets off of everybody
Yep.
that get in there,
Yeah.
and if they don't get in there, let them fall by the wayside.
Come
And
on.
he's doing that.
Yes.
And so I have elected officials sometimes saying, Demita, just keep praying that prayer. Just keep praying
Yep.
that prayer because God is doing that. And
Oh yeah.
it's gonna be folks that I might have a relationship with. I
Absolutely.
believe that they're going to be exposed. So
Yes.
we agree there.
Mhm.
But let me ask you a question. I'm going to shift something else. You
Okay.
talk about a police brutality and the shootings and stuff, and we
Mhm.
see that.
Mhm.
What can we do about black on black crime? The shootings of black brothers shooting black brothers, sisters shoot. What can we do about that?
Absolutely. My brother was killed black on
Mhm,
black. He was at a club and he came out the club. They had a shootout in the front. And so it was somebody that we were actually friends with, I guess. I don't know because there wasn't everybody there was all friends. So they got into this dispute and my brother wound up being shot and killed coming out of the club. And so that is black on black,
mhm,
so trust me when I say that hits harder than even police brutality, for me, for my family, because
mhm,
we are part, that's something that has hit home.
mhm,
But the one thing about what I tell people the differences between, because I know they're like, well, we got to worry about our own before, but we don't get paid to protect and serve. So when we say, what can we do about that? We can continuously to ask when there is police that come aboard to do their jobs, because the one thing that we know that if you shoot your brother, as far as a black person, we know that you're going to get your time for your crime.
mhm.
But when it comes to the other side, we haven't seen anything happen with that. We know that if it's a black on black crime and that happens, we know you going to jail.
Yeah.
We There is no doubt. There ain't no, and we talking about life sentences. We ain't talking about no 5 years, 4 years. They
When
going
the,
to throw the book at you.
when
But
them
then
chocolate chip kill each other, them chocolate chip going.
so we go in that route, and yeah, we don't want to see that happening, and that's a problem. But we focus on police brutality because nothing has been done about that. Like there's no, accountability, there's no justice. With black on black crime, we have seen justice. Jimmy Hill, his son, he was killed. When he has one son that was killed by police brutality, then he has another son that was killed by black on black crime. Well, the black on black crime, he didn't got justice for that. But
Mhm.
this police brutality case is still sitting on Funny Willis's desk. So when you say what is the difference with people, with us, that's the difference.
Mhm.
Yeah, what can we do? We can do what we continue to do. Because they're gonna continue to they're gonna catch them. They're gonna do some prosecute them. They're not prosecuting the police.
Mm.
And
Let me
so
ask you a question. I say it all the time, but since you're out there and and you said something, I'm going to tell you it was confirmation. When I first heard you and you were so radical about these shootings and stuff, I said it's someone close to her that has been killed because it was just there. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that I had a senior moment? You know, when you get that certain age, you have a senior moment. Okay, thank you, Jesus. Do you think that it's two justice systems? It's a justice system for the white folks and it's a justice system for the black folks. Let's talk
absolutely.
about that a little bit.
Absolutely. It most definitely is. And how we can say it's because Trayvon Martin, um, he has Skittles, and the police officer told the whoever the security officer is to stand down, and he still did it. But what happened? But then we have the shooting at, let's just say, in Denver, Colorado, where I'm from, because that's where I'm
Mhm,
from. The first one was at the school, and then the second one was at our movie theater. The gentleman, he sat there with his bulletproof vest on. He waited for the police, had a cigarette, he was smoking, waited for them to come. Now, if that would have been somebody black, he would have got thrown down to the ground and shot to the head. Or, matter of fact, they would have just shot him. They wouldn't have even tried to, you know, there are more people that have committed massacres that are still living than someone that was out selling CDs that
Mm.
is not here no longer today, or cigarettes. You see what
I
I'm
like
saying?
what yeah, I like what you said because see now you cleared up. See, I love when you talk one on one because you can
Mhm.
clear up the lies that's been put out there. You say you from Denver, Colorado.
Absolutely.
I was told you was from New York. So there you go. You in clear. See, that's how when you talk about. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a candidate that says that if a police officer shoot my son, if you got kids, ain't nothing gonna be done. Do you agree with that?
I
Do
do. I
do
I'm
you?
I'm in it right now.
Well, okay.
We
Let me
got
no no.
better homes.
Let me ask you. Do
Okay.
you agree that this candidate should let police off if they kill somebody? That's what I'm asking.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, we have a
Absolutely not.
we have a candidate that
Okay.
says, and I get this word messed up. I get tied tongued with this word, and my
Mhm.
husband say Damita, and it's a immunity
Mhm. Mhm.
that if they get elected,
Mhm.
if Sergeant Billy Joe shoot Lil Ray Ray,
Mhm.
they don't get in trouble. Lil Ray Ray mama gonna have to bear them and go on like nothing never happened. Do you agree with that? Because you've been there.
Right.
You know how your family felt when your brother got killed. Do you think that a person that's running should
Mhm.
allow folks to kill our folks and we don't say nothing? Because I'm going to say this, that ruling that they're trying to put in place, it
Mhm.
ain't for, I'm going to have to say it the way I say it. It
Mhm.
ain't for the napkins.
Mhm.
It's for the chocolate chip and the minority folks. Do you agree with that?
So the thing that about that is that so so we're not calling names, right? Because when Obama was in office, do you remember when he passed a law that all police officers already have immunity? So the act that he's even somebody else is talking about is already in place because
Mhm.
Obama already had passed that already. You can
I'm
go and look this up.
I'm gonna look that up before I
Oh,
say because
please do. Matter of
I
fact,
like
Imma
to
send it to you. Matter of fact, Imma send it to you. I've already posted it before. I wish you
okay.
we I woulda known that this
Okay.
was even something that you was inquiring about because
You
I
know
woulda
what?
had
What I do? You see,
I
I
woulda
ain't got no
posted it.
papers, no papers,
Right,
no. I
right,
come straight from.
right.
Yeah. So
Hey, I
okay.
got you, I got you, I got you. One thing you will know about me is that if I say it out these lips, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
So, Obama passed immunity, well, protected for the blue. That
Mm-hmm.
it's that's what it is. So
The
they
blue.
are protected. Period. So no immunity is already given to the police already. It went up under his administration, Democrat Party. So it's already there. And so even speaking into what is has been said, we did our investigation, and I had to ask because see, I'm this type of person that I don't mind being at the table with you. Now, like you said, either we're gonna agree or disagree. See,
Hmm.
I'd rather be at the table and talk to, because I wasn't a Republican. I was a Democrat.
Yeah.
So I don't I've already seen what the Democrats they done to me, what they've done to Khadijah Abdul Rahman, what they did to Misha Maynor. And so my view towards them are different. Is I don't listen to everything that they say because they put out that Khadijah Abdul Rahman was a Republican. Now you might not like her, but she a diehard Democrat. You might not agree with her, but she is a diehard Democrat. Same thing with Misha Maynor. She was a diehard Democrat, but you know what changed her? You know why she could have very well just said, "You know what? I'm just going to leave it all alone and I'm just going to remain a Democrat and I'm just going to just sit down." She didn't. She did what she was supposed to do. What we encouraged her to do, and that's move.
Let
Because
me
you
let
don't
me ask let me ask you a question because while you're saying that,
have mhm.
if everybody and we have a lot of we have issues with the Democrat Party just like you have issues with the Republican Party, and I don't know too much about the Independent Party because I
I
don't,
am.
okay, but if everybody go and jump ship, then what do we have? I believe that you should fight for what you believe in and don't care about the rest. Because let me say
So
this.
I feel like this. I feel like you have to be led by God. And
Okay.
if God tells you to do something, then do it. Don't worry
Okay.
about what people is feeling and what you should do and what you in the fight, because every fight, that's why I say the battle's not yours, it's the Lord's. Position yourself, stand still so you can see the salvation of the Lord. So if because I'm independent, so I jump both ships. I didn't care about none
Yeah.
of that, because right now God is my president. I know he been my president even when Obama was in. But then I didn't know because I'm like, hey, it's a black president. He was the first person the time that I started voting. He was when I started voting, that's when he came in office. But God had to show me that I'm only voting because I'm only allowing you to vote because you said it wasn't never going to be a black president, and it is. But I don't need you to focus on who he is. I need you to focus still on me because I'm only giving them what they said it would never be. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
if people would stop getting into this political realm with their flesh and get into it with the spiritual, you would understand and see what God is doing in the spiritual realm. Because right now, even with the Trump and Karen, I mean, the only thing that we can do right now is be strong, get stronger. Cause we dancing with two. I ain't dancing with the devil because I don't deal with neither one of the parties I have to worry about. But I feel like neither one of them are capable of doing what they're supposed to be doing right now by God.
Okay,
And
so you since you let me, I want let me ask you this. Let's go to Obama, for President Obama.
okay.
When President Obama was the president,
Hmm.
he didn't control either the House or the Senate.
Hmm.
And we had some years that they're not going to allow him to do anything. And I believe that more could have gotten done during that his time. But you know
Absolutely.
why? You know why I believe?
Hmm.
I must I just say the napkins.
Hmm.
The napkins didn't believe that a chocolate chip would be there in the throne.
Right.
And I've been down here in Georgia almost 20 years.
Hmm.
And we can say it's not there,
Hmm.
but it's there.
Oh, absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
even right now, I had to correct some people about the vice president. I lived in California.
Hmm.
It ain't too much you can tell me about California because I lived there almost 30 years.
Right.
Okay.
My husband is from there.
And so what happens is, even right now, she is the vice president. You still have a president,
Hmm.
and we don't control nothing. So right now, it might be real good to get it done, but no, I'm not going to get nothing done. So when I hear people say that I'm not going to vote, Pink, I'm all right. My household right here is going to be all right. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But
Hmm.
what I'm looking at, and you can agree with me, and maybe you can tell me no, Damita. I'm looking at all them homeless people that's laying out there on the street. I'm looking at my mother, she getting Social Security. I'm looking at my husband gets a retired veteran. I'm looking at all of that. And if you go through Project 2025, they say they're going to cut that out. Now I done got a little quiet now on it, but they want to roll stuff back. So How do y'all feel about
Well,
that? I
so
work
this
for
is
the
how I
union.
feel about
For
it,
you.
because I feel like, with that, because that's been staged, and I just, that's just my opinion. It's just, it's everybody is trying to roll with, Project 25, and then we're already backwards. Like, we up under two people already, that we are already all the way backwards. Y'all, people are talking like as if Trump been in office for all these years, and all this stuff is happening, like it's not happening up under two people's watches that we are watching right now run for president. So when we say, well, what do you think about, the Project 25? Well, I think that Project 25 is happening right now up under the watch of in leadership up under Harrison Biden. That's what I feel. I feel like Project 25 is already happening right now up under their leadership. So if we're going to talk about what is going to happen when we're not at that table. See, we are dealing with people, we're independent. So we're dealing with people that deal with Trump, and I'm about to schedule a meeting to sit down with Trump. And why? Is because I I'm like this. If I'm a fight, if I'm a fight, I need you to know what I'm fighting and who you looking at. Cause see, like I said, no weapon formed against me gonna prosper.
Yeah. I'm a
So the one thing that I want people to understand is that I need you to hear it out my mouth about what my people need and what my people want. Now, if you say it to my face about what you gonna do and what you ain't gonna do,
what
now we got a whole nother different issue and a problem that I can deal with personally. But I
okay.
can't deal with hearing from somebody else, because I know what they said about Misha Maynard. I saw what they did to Khadijah Abdul Rahman.
And
I
and
saw what they did to those
and I get that. And let me tell you, I got some of that information. And sometimes it's always two sides to a story.
people.
And I don't want to go into that because it's not Misha Maynard or Khadijah. But
Right.
I'm gonna tell you,
Mhm.
when a Republican called my house,
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
one Republican, but several Republicans, and tell
Mhm.
me a conversation that took place,
Mhm.
it was very hardened. It was very sad. And these Republicans don't ain't gonna. I'm gonna say this Republican ain't gonna lie. Some of them lie. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Reason I know they're not gonna lie,
Uh-huh.
because this Republican lives in the city of South Fulton, and they had a meeting. And so I'm gonna
Mhm.
leave that. But somebody just sent me a question,
Okay.
and this question come from, believe it or not, this from Washington D.C.
Okay.
And it says Republicans practice obstruction politics during Obama terms. And
Mhm.
this, okay.
Mhm.
And in the addition, presidents did not pass laws, only Congress. House and Senate passes laws. Do your guests understand the government process? Her passion is misdirected because maybe her wrong understanding. And that's, don't take that person. That come from
No,
somebody.
I don't.
Yeah, that come from somebody that's watching out of Washington
Yes. And I
D.C.
don't, and one thing, no, one thing. I nothing, unless you tell me God ain't real, I'm gonna take personal, or to be like,
Okay.
it's not, because like I said, I'm independent. So I've watched both sides. I don't comment a lot on Trump, because I wasn't up under the Republican Party to study all
Mhm.
about what he is and who he is. I'm studying now because I know that a lot of stuff that's being said or done or pushed towards him. When I watch, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot. And y'all got to understand one thing, and this is the part that I see, that when they pulled Trump in, he was not political savvy. He was not ready. He already said he wasn't, but they still wanted him in.
because
Now they wanted him in because
they
of
knew
the
what he
money.
wanted. They knew what he would do.
No, no, no. They wanted him in because of the money.
Yeah.
It was the money first off. Then
Hmm.
when he began to now show them that, hey, so a man thinketh, so I'll be. I could do whatever I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I could do all things through Christ to give me strength. And I'm using those terms because this is a person that said that if I ran for president, I'm gonna run the win. This is the person that said that, hey, if I choose to do it, I'm going to win. So
This is,
I'm
but
not going to take
same. This is the same person that said if he stand in New York and shoot people, they wouldn't do nothing. This is the same
yeah,
person
but this,
said
I
that
mean,
he
we
was.
could just go right there because
Right.
Karen
But
just
this
said
is
the
the same.
same
This is.
thing the other
But
night that
let me
if
say this.
somebody
Let
broke
me say
inside
this.
our house, she was gonna shoot somebody.
No,
We
but
that
hold
my
on.
point.
This is the
No,
same.
no, no.
Hold
But
on.
my point to say that it wasn't to empower him; it was to empower somebody else to do what he
Right.
said he was
But
going to do. Because
right.
I didn't take from him like I said, I know everybody say some crazy stuff, and trust me, I didn't pay attention enough to him before because I didn't have to. I'm having to now because I'm dealing with two parties that I'm not agreeing with.
Okay.
I'm not in agreement with either
But,
party or on the same level of either person that is running. But
let me say this, and then I'm gonna get off of him because I ain't giving none of
right,
them
right,
no
right,
virtue.
right, right, right,
But
and that's not what we came on here for.
this is the person that in the 80s
Hmm.
that's sit down with one of the news channels and said, I'm a Democrat, and if he run as a Republican, all them folks. But what
He
I'm
sat
and I
down
don't
with
want to.
Oprah. He sat
Yeah,
down with Oprah and
yeah,
said
but
that in
I
1988.
don't want to do that. This is what, and we can have God, and I know what a shot of that I have, and I have discernment.
Hmm.
But we also have to. What I do when I talk pink, I try to get me out of the way, and I
Hmm.
think about the common good of everybody.
Hmm.
Um, do you think that since this has been going on, that it has caused racism to come out more? Because at the end of the day, I don't care which side we go on, and I used to hear my folks say this when I was coming, didn't understand it.
Hmm.
You're gonna be a Negro no matter what. You
Right.
hear what I'm saying?
Right.
I used to go down to the Capitol, and they would pimp them folks.
Mhm.
They would stroke them, make them feel real good.
Can I ask you something?
Yes,
Did you know Harriet Tubman was a Republican?
yes. I
Did you
got
know
folks that
that
read.
Martin Luther King was a Republican?
I'm gonna do my research on that.
So, and I say
And
that
it's
to
not
say,
about. It's not about. I
no,
don't
no,
think.
no, 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 no. I'm not saying it like because I'm not a Republican. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying it for no reason, but for us to understand that these are two people that
Mm-hmm.
fought fought for history, for us to be
Yes.
right here, you talking to me talking to you on
Mm-hmm.
this internet, fought for us to be able to talk about our black
Absolutely.
governor, our black, anything black that's
Right.
in power right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And when I fight because I don't want to dismantle their legacy for
Yes.
what they done for us. And I know that people sometimes get it twisted about oh, it seemed like you going for I'm not going for anything but what they fought for. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
and what they and I'm not going to say that either party is in that direction only because of I'm right now really, really focused about Georgia. And I
Mm-hmm.
understand the presidential, that's big for some people, but my thing
It's
is fighting
local.
for right here because this is what I see. This is what I
Okay.
touch.
You on the local level.
This is where I'm at. And so, and it's all black.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
you.
sad because we right now are so focused about what they're doing that we lose focus in what has to be done right here. South Fulton, all black city officials,
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be empowered, supposed to be helping, supposed to be moving y'all forward, and y'all are standing still.
Uh-uh.
South Fulton is going like they talking about dismantling it. It's all over the place.
Well,
Why? Because we
and let me.
can't get
eh,
ourselves
Well,
together to say,
let me say this, Pink,
mhm,
because I fought for cityhood, and everybody that's on the council,
mhm,
they didn't fight for cityhood.
mm,
You had a group that didn't want cityhood, and you had a group that wanted cityhood. Okay,
okay,
and you have to be careful what you get. You got to be careful
mm,
what you ask for. And then we also have folks because when I believe in holding people accountable.
Yep.
Folks don't want to hold people accountable because they're my friends, they're this and that. You got to
Come
hold
on.
folks accountable, okay?
Yes. Yes.
And you need to start from I've said it once and I say it again. I'm gonna hold all the way from the top of the all the way down to the garbage,
Same
folks.
bottom.
Okay.
Mhm.
But what
Absolutely.
happens was everybody get into the friendship and
Yes.
nobody want to hold people accountable.
Nope.
And
They
yes,
close the blind that they blind them eyes. They blind them eyes.
let me say this about the city of South Fulton. That's why I get passionate about the city of South Fulton,
Mhm.
because we are the fourth and we are the fifth. We're the richest and the biggest, okay? But what happened when you get folks that's more concerned about how much money they're made,
Mhm.
the celebrity, then we began to have a problem with
Yep.
that. Everybody is not a servant, okay?
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna tell you we can disagree on this.
Mhm.
I truly believe
Mhm.
that our mayor that we had now should have stayed as the council person and
Mhm.
stayed, but folks pumped him up and
Mhm.
we
I
was
did.
going through some stuff, and
Mhm.
he ended up getting in there.
Mhm.
And he's a smart young man, but
Mhm.
he's a big disappointment
Right.
to the folks, okay?
I
They
agree.
said they said when we were fighting for cityhood
Mhm.
that the black folks was gonna mess it up and the white folks was gonna have to come in there and clean it up.
No, it don't happen.
Well, I'm gonna
No,
trust
the
my
black people is messing it up, but with the black people, we gonna clean it up. Don't get it twisted.
well
Because
no,
like I said, we ain't
not
fighting for them to get out for somebody else to take over.
well
We
let
fighting
me
for the white people, black people to get in and take
we
over and
fight
do what's right.
I want the right people, but let me say this.
Absolutely.
You ain't got to even fight that battle because you forgot what I said. I said, Lord, pull the sheets off of them.
Come on. You
And
did.
he gonna do just that, and he's
You
doing
did.
just that.
And I'm
But
with
we and what I found out, sometimes Demita have to get in the back
you. Mhm.
and just let God do what he do.
Do what he
Because
do.
he let me tell you, he's gonna do what he said he's gonna do,
I
and
do.
we are not to be mocked. Because let
Yeah.
me tell you, if he did not want us to become a city, Pink,
It wouldn't have been.
it wouldn't have been.
Come
He
on.
knocked that thing down in
Yeah.
2005.
Yeah.
And then if you don't know, I will tell you because I was there. The
Mhm.
night that the bill died,
Mm.
a lady named Camilla Moore
Mhm.
asked the Republicans to bring this bill back to the floor.
Mm.
The bill came back to the floor,
Mhm.
and that's why we call that bill the Lazarus bill.
Wow.
It died, but it
Came
came
back.
back alive.
Come on.
And so it's gonna come back alive because see now what God has to do is he's gonna have to start removing folks.
Yeah.
And he's
Right.
gonna do that. What
Oh,
I
he's doing it already.
and
And
he's doing it.
and just to speak upon the South Fulton whole situation, and I play a part in that because like I said, hey, and I'm a woman of my word. Like if I messed up and I messed up,
Mhm,
like I pushed Khalid, I did. And I know
mhm,
we're not gonna name names, but he's the mayor.
mhm.
And I pushed him, because there was a war that was going on, but he left the battle the field. And we were thinking that he was coming in with a clean heart to do what was supposed to be done for the people.
You
I
should have
didn't know.
called me. You should have called me.
I know, girl, I know. I'm thinking about the next time. And hey, I'm open. I'm openly like hey, and I can accept my responsibility of what I've done and what I
Mhm,
did, and allowed to be done. And so I allowed to be bamboozled, and and it happened. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? But what I am now a woman to say is that hey, it won't happen again
They won't have any
because of
amen.
the fact of I'm we need somebody in that's not looking for friends. Like
Amen. I
God
totally
told me when
agree.
He first brought me here, is that you're not there for friends and you ain't there for enemies. You're there simply about my business. And that's the reason
Amen.
why everything that I do, I try to do it in the word, in the name of God, that He's pleased with what He's asking me to do and not what I want to do. Like I'm not
Absolutely.
attacking people personally. Like I'm not out here. This is not a personal situation. This is about their job. Let's always be clear about that. Like this is not personal. This is strictly about the job that they're in. This has nothing to do with at their doorstep. Now, if it becomes to be about your door, like Sheriff LaButte, I have shared some things that's going on with him. Why? Because it's happening at that location of that job.
Mhm.
If it wasn't happening there, if he wasn't sleeping with people at the job and he
Oh
wasn't,
Lord Jesus, what you say? You what? Well, hey, let me
hey,
ask you a question. Let me
then we
ask you a
wouldn't even be
question.
talking about it. We wouldn't even, it wouldn't even be discussion. If him and his wife want to still put up with it, that's up to him. But his wife said this. This is something his wife put out. This wasn't nothing that I put out about April Moore and Sheriff. That wasn't nothing that I put out. It was something she put out. I just ran with it because she gave us receipts.
Right,
So
right.
don't be mad at me that, and then I got a call by somebody in a high position that said, "Oh, I thought that was old. I thought they was done messing with each other." Excuse me? Why would y'all even allow that? That's like me knowing your husband and you, and me talking to you and the mistress of who's sleeping with your husband. How that's so disrespectful of me to
Absolutely.
be your friend in your face. And but
Yeah.
then I'm talking to the mistress in her face, friends too. But then you got the nerves to call me and ask me because I'm putting something out. Oh, I thought that was old though. I thought they had been stopped messing around with each other.
Let,
Why were
let
you
me
just
let me ask you this, Pink, because we got another show that's coming.
absolutely?
Let me ask you. We're gonna do another show
Yes,
if you agree to a part two.
yes,
And when we come back, what I want to do, we gonna talk offline.
yes,
But for me, and we're gonna get ready to close out because they got to get on with me. What I found out, I don't get down. I try to stay out the mud.
yeah,
Because see, if you get in the mud with them, see both of your pigs down there, and both of you don't know who the pig is. So I try not to get in the mud with people. Uh,
well,
I've
when you
been
trying to take something out, the mud is where they gonna stay.
yeah, yeah,
Because
and
you
so
know, you want, let me tell you something, when you taking it out, you want to, and long as you dealing with facts and you're not dealing with fiction and you're not dealing with feelings. If you dealing with facts, then hey, you bring it all to the
yeah,
table. If it's going to affect your community, because y'all got to keep in mind, we the thing that happened with Commissioner Hall, and we're not getting into all of that, but
yeah.
I'm
I don't
using
want to do nothing. I don't want
no,
to do
no.
nothing
I'm
personal. Yeah,
using this only as an example because it's out. It's in the opening because y'all everybody denied that too at first. Trust that and believe that. That was a denial in the beginning, but it
mhm.
came out to be the truth. But at the end of the day, if it's going to cost our people money, and see that came out of taxpayer dollars.
Oh
If
yeah,
it's going to cost the people, and this could be another one of those type of situations. People I know they're saying, oh, I don't want to get into all that. I don't want to get it. Well, it's in people's pocket because she works still at that job. And
yeah,
so she can all of a sudden say anything and HELL could break loose. And
yeah,
then everybody is sitting up here now saying, oh, well, they should have been put a stop to that.
yeah.
Well,
I will agree with
we'll
with
go,
you.
we'll go.
We go. I've always said when I'm doing mine, I know how to. You have to learn how to separate business, friendship, and everything. And
Absolutely.
so we're praying for our elected officials, but I believe that anybody that's not doing right, they will be exposed.
Yes, indeed. He already said that.
I don't have to get down, with them because
Mhm.
God's going to put a sheet. But
Oh, yeah.
in your closing, give me your closing. But we're going to do a part two because we got so much to dive into. Because I see some good. I see something and I can feel something. And it's a lot that you can do and we can do as a whole if we come together. But see, you can't get your stuff done because see, the folks over here, we don't like LA Pink because she talks too much. And we
Yeah.
don't like the meet over here because so but I believe when you come together as one on one accord, you can get a lot done and you feeling the same thing that I'm feeling. hold people accountable.
Terrible.
And
That's
we
it.
got to get the right people in office. And
Absolutely.
in closing, when I go, it ain't about Democrats or Republicans. It's about
Right.
what you're going to do for the people. Because when I lived in California, they give us a ballot where the Democrats and the Republicans is on the ballot.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
majority of the time, when I cast my vote in California, it was for the Republicans. So
Mhm.
it's about what's going to do right for the people,
People.
for the
Absolutely.
people. And
Absolutely.
so I think when we put the people first, and I'm always going to be putting the people first, that's what we do. I will tell you, I don't know what this black vice president
Mhm.
is going to do. But
Mhm.
if I can give everybody else a chance, surely I can give her a chance. And then if she don't do things the way it's supposed to be, guess what? You go to the ballot and you vote her out. But I believe in giving everybody a fair chance because she can't do no more in office than the House and the Senate and President Biden allow her. That's just like me.
Mhm.
I can't do no more. The pastors can't do nothing in the churches unless their trustee and deacon board give them control. Unless they are have they got away from the associations and they're
Mhm.
the CEO or the church now that they make all the rules.
Right.
On and close us out, Pink, and me and you gonna
And
get
and and I can say one thing about that because
yeah.
y'all gotta keep in mind and please understand one thing. It's not about what she can do. It's about bringing something back that God destroyed, and that's Sodom and Gomorrah. I say it all the time, and God said that that won't be. You know, if she can take away the fact that she is fighting hard for little boys to be girls, hey, she might get some pull from some people. But for me, I can't sway people that way because God already came and told me himself that I will destroy this place if it be. Because Sodom and Gomorrah is what he did.
Yeah,
And so if y'all are okay with boys becoming girls, hey, then get ready for this to be destroyed. But
but
if y'all are not, and I'm not saying that like I said, what they need to do is go and wipe that slate clean. Maybe y'all don't need a Trump, and maybe y'all don't need a Harris. See, I'm going for West, and if they don't put him on the ballot, then God
but
bless.
you know what? And see, you keep on. I got to get out of here. And I'm gonna say this. Let me tell you. Do you know this thing been going on ever since I was a little girl? You know, we talk about this thing now because it's there, but you
Mhm.
know the you've been had transgenders when I was a little kid. Look at your churches. You got the gay folks in your churches. You
God
got
said
the
nowhere
rest
in
of
the
your
world for us
choir.
to submit to it. God said nowhere
But
in the
I'm saying
world of
that
God
they're
for
there.
us
But
to
so
submit. We
that
not judging it, but
yeah,
we not submitting to
and
it.
so
We not making it easy for anybody because it
yeah,
ain't easy for me to sin. If I was sinning out here doing what I used to do
like
when I was young, then my path would still be the same thing. I would still be going through court. I would still be doing stupid stuff. I would still be, and my consequences is still the same.
yeah,
But hey, when I chose to give my life up to God and serve Him with everything, then hey, I have to follow suit with what God's to go on with that. And so that's the same with them.
yeah.
Hey, if it's in the word of God, then it is gonna be. And if it
Yes,
ain't,
I,
don't
I
make it.
I I agree with you. And you know what? I used to sit back and I used to try to judge folks. You know what?
Hey,
I'm
that's
just
not a
trying.
judgment.
I'm
There
just,
was a gay guy that I shared just now, and go check my page out. I shared him on my page, and he's saying the same thing. He's gay, and it is what it is. See, being gay, it doesn't mean, oh, I got to be out here and I got to be in a dress and I got to teach little kids how to, go read a book that they got inside of the school. And I'm gonna share that with you too. It's a guy that came and sat in front of the
put it in the chat because this the
yeah,
next the
we
next
done, we
live
done,
going.
we done.
And so
Okay,
I want to thank
I
all the
thank you.
listeners. I want to thank all the listeners for tuning in. She
Yeah,
came in late, but
and
I
forgive
never
me.
thought that we would be in an argument or a disagree on some things. You know, I know we're gonna disagree, but I knew we was gonna have a great dialogue.
Great,
I'm
great.
going I'm gonna bring you back after the election. And
Yes.
matter of fact, see, this is on my talk show, but I'm going to do a Facebook Live with you, and we can talk
Okay.
as much as we want,
Yeah.
and
Let's
just
go.
talking. We can get down to the real nitty
Right.
gritty, and
Right.
we ain't got to be. See, right now I'm kind of
Uh-huh.
on,
Uh-huh.
on some shackles because I can't
Uh-huh.
say everything because it's going on the Apple
Right.
Television, but when I get on my page, I can say anything that I want to say. I want to thank you
Absolutely.
for coming, Pink.
Thanks for
You keep
having
on
me.
you keep on doing what you're doing. We might disagree, but we're in alignment with a lot of things.
Yes.
You keep on holding folks accountable. The only
Yes.
thing I say, you just if it's led by, if you say it's led by God and God tell you, I ain't coming behind you and say anything. I'm just gonna say it's her and God.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to
Cause
thank
see, my obedience is not for people to understand it. I
Amen.
Cause I trust me, I'm so connected to that man. I came here with nothing but him. I came here with nothing, no family, no friends, no doors open, no opportunity, just being said to him from him, follow me. And so I came here. I knew nobody. I'm talking about not one soul. So for people that I'm connected to now, the governor and different people that I am connected to, these commissioners, that's the connection from God. That ain't
Amen.
connection to me.
Put your website. Tell me your website and your social media so we can put it in the chat so people can
Absolutely.
get
So my
tell.
website is www.streetgroomers.org. That is our, and just look up Street Groomers for all our social media and just follow
Okay.
us.
And again, I like I say, me and
Thank you
you,
for having me.
I think me and you agree on a lot of things. Cause see, you in here when God sent me to Georgia, I didn't want to be down here, but He told me I
No.
was only gonna be here for a season, and I had
Okay.
something to do, and so I've been fighting ever since I've been here. Sometimes
And
I
I
get
love
so
it.
tired, sometimes I cry, sometimes I cuss, and the Lord keep on. When I get there, He just say you got to
Yep.
stand, you got to
Yep.
stand when ain't
Yep.
nobody standing
Yep.
beside you.
Yep.
So again, I want to thank you, LA Pink. We gonna talk. I'm gonna send you my personal cell number. See,
Yes.
everybody ain't
Please
got the
do.
personal; they got the Google. But when I give you my personal, then it's I want to have a connection with you. I want to
Absolutely.
thank you, and we're gonna have you at a
Same.
round table too. Thank
Okay.
you
Please
for
do.
coming.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you, Pink.
All right. Kingdom
Wait.
blessings.
Did you take
Uh-huh.
the picture? Did she take the pictures? Did you take the pictures, producer?
I'm taking them right now. Thank you. Great show, ladies. One,
Thank you.
two,
Thank
Let us take some
you.
pictures.
1, 2, and 3. Thank you. Great show. And I
Thank
sent
you.
you a friend request as well.
All righty. Thank you
All right.
so